I'm Sumit Sinal. I'm the chair at YI Siliguri for the year 2023.
I'm Sunny Agarwal and I'm the co-chair of YI Siliguri 2023.
So YI Siliguri started in 2013. It was the last week of September. National head of YI, Tulsi, he had come to Siliguri to present what is YI to us. We were all sitting and he showed us a presentation about YI, and then there was silence for a couple of days. And then PK Shah was the chairman of CI that time. He had called us and he was like, now we are ready to launch the chapter and we want to finalize who's the chair and who's the co-chair. He said, Ronak, what do you think? That time I was 29. I told him I don't mind. Then immediately he said that, okay, you're going to chair it. And then after me, Praveen came and Praveen also accepted. I did not know who Praveen was till that day. But I don't think in the entire journey, I would have had a better co-chair at that point than Praveen.
So, YI CI का यूथ प्लेटफॉर्म है. CI 125 साल पुरानी एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, बहुत ही मजबूत क्रेडेंशियल्स हैं और अपने पास एक विजिबल बट येट इनविजिबल हैंड है CI का, जो कि आपको फ्रीडम देता है अपने हिसाब से चलने के लिए, क्लीन शेट देता है, आप अपने हिसाब से ग्रो करें, बट अगेन यू गेटिंग द स्ट्रक्चर, द बेनिफिट ऑफ अ पेरेंट, स्ट्रॉन्ग पेरेंटेज ऑफ CII.
YI is a movement of young people to come together so that they can converge, lead, co-create and influence the future of this country, that is Bharat. I have been fortunate to be a part of this organization from day zero. Across the 10 years, we have seen students, those who were in schools, have moved on to join colleges, and they have moved from being a Dalit student at YI to now becoming Yuva students. And we see them in future becoming members at YI Siliguri.
I am Sandeep Agarwal. In 2016, I chaired this organization as the chairman of YI Siliguri. We were evolving that time. We were just 3 years old. So one thing which we are focusing on to get big names, popular names, and create event in Siliguri of that scale. I remember when we conducted events like learning session with Akash Gautam. So when we used to post our pictures on Facebook, the very next day we were flooded with requests to join YI Siliguri.
I joined YI in 2016, and I remember there was one speaker who was invited, the Mumbai Dabbawalas, and I was always fascinated by the stories of the Mumbai Dabbawalas. And I think that is what, after attending that event, I thought that YI, yes, it's a different organization.
सही पूछो तो 2016 जब से YI ज्वाइन किया है, तब से मेमोरीज बनती जा रही है और हम लोग उस मेमोरी को रिकॉल कर सकते हैं. हाँ, मेरे टेन्योर के समय में कुछ ऐसे काम हम लोगों ने किए थे जो मुझे मेरे दिल के बहुत करीब है. उसमें खास करके रूरल एरिया में जो स्मार्ट लर्निंग सेंटर के माध्यम से हमने क्लास 8, 9, 10 के बच्चों को ट्यूशन पढ़ाई थी. बढ़ते कदम एक्सेसिबिलिटी में एक प्रोजेक्ट था जिसमें हम लोगों ने जो डिफरेंटली एबल लोग हैं उनको आर्टिफिशियल लिम्स, जो कृत्रिम पाँव होते हैं, वो लगाया. और सबसे बड़ा एक योगदान रहा जो हम लोग एडवोकेसी की बात करते हैं या गवर्नमेंट के साथ इंगेजमेंट की बात करते हैं, तो उसमें हम लोगों ने लास्ट ईयर NGP स्टेशन और सिलीगुड़ी जंक्शन दोनों जगह YI सिलीगुड़ी ने व्हील चेयर उनको डोनेट की थी. 75th इंडिपेंडेंस डे है ना, आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव. लास्ट ईयर हम लोग YI सिलीगुड़ी ने उसमें 75 मीटर्स लॉन्ग एक फ्लैग लेके हम लोगों ने एक मार्च किया था. एंड वो मार्च, आप विश्वास नहीं करोगे, थोड़ी देर के लिए वो पूरा सेवक रोड का वो एरिया रुक गया, थम गया. जब वो देख रहे हैं कि एक 75 मीटर लॉन्ग फ्लैग लेके YI के मेंबर, युवा स्टूडेंट सब साथ में थे, तो वो आज भी मुझे वो लहराता हुआ तिरंगा और उसकी वेव्स आज भी याद रहती है. वो
I remember one incident when it was an annual day. I think probably 2016 or 2017. So all the members who had worked really well that year, they were being appreciated on the stage. So I was wondering, मैं कब जाऊँगा ऊपर, मुझे कब मिलेगा ऐसा award या ऐसा कुछ. At that time I never thought I would lead this organization at any point of time. So the only purpose of that question was कि इन्होंने ऐसा क्या किया जो मैंने नहीं किया, just to understand that. Subsequently I became a bit active over the years, and then suddenly I met Pritam Bansal, who was my past chair again, and he injected the YI DNA into me, and then rest is history. I became the co-chair, and then I became the chair, and again I'm being active at a national level right now.
I joined during the tenure of Hemant Agarwal, and 3 months down the line, he also entrusted me with the responsibility of Yuva. So the major challenge was to devote time and rope in colleges to be a part of the YI Yuva program, and we had support from the past chairs, including the current leadership at that point of time. So we started initially with Inspiria Knowledge Campus and went on to close that year with 3 Yuva colleges with a total strength of approximately around 400 students. The nationals also recognized our efforts, and we ended up being the best Yuva chapter in the country for that year.
To be very frank, after finishing my leadership, I changed a lot as a person. Even my friends, my peers, they tell me this thing, that before becoming the YI chair co-chair and after that, it has changed you as a person. It helps you everywhere. When you learn leadership, it helps you everywhere, in your family, in your business, overall, you get evolved. You get evolved as a person. Till the time I live, I think YI will stay with me. YI has to stay with me. YI has become an integral part of me now. It's in my blood now.
Primarily, I look at YI as a sacred space. So when you get into these projects, you learn a lot about these causes. And in the process, you are actually realizing, that what needs to be done for the country, what you can do, what is your potential beyond what you do in your business or in your work life. And I would say, to ask anybody what is YI for you is injustice. You've got to be into YI to understand what YI is. And everybody will have his own version or experience of YI to share with you.
So there were young girls of one of the Thalir schools. They were supposed to make a presentation on Masoom. And one of the girls, when she was given the best presentation award, she came to the lip and said that I am a victim of child sexual abuse. So that was a very sad moment, and it makes you feel that you are actually doing some impact on that little child. So we have made few tailoring centers in the rural pockets, and there's one trainer, and then there are these women, they come together and they learn how to stitch, to be self-dependent, for women empowerment, for women entrepreneurship. And in one of the centers in Salasar Seva Ashram, we went to meet the women over there, and the kind of smile, the feeling that they had on their face, it was so satisfactory. Like one of the women in the group, they were like, earlier their husbands never used to give them money to get to the center also for the transportation cost, but now they are capable of not even providing themselves with the fare, but in fact they are contributing to their households with the money that they are earning. So I think that was a very special moment for me. A lot of people make fun of me also that I always try to carry a bottle of water wherever I go, so I don't have to use single-use plastic, but they make a lot of fun also. But again, it's okay. I mean, that is something that I feel for, and that is the change that we need to bring in the society. So climate change is real, guys, and we have to address it.
When it comes to Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, we conducted an activity of distributing car bins. So that was one very sought after activity in terms, other chapters wanted to know how did we conduct that. The result was that every taxi operators, they wanted a bin from us, so that the tourists traveling in that cars don't dirty the roads and the city around. So any nation building activity that we do creates awareness, and that is what we get the most contentment out of it.
At Siliguri Junction, उस टाइम जब देखते हैं आप, तो उस टाइम there were stairs but there were no ramps. तो अगर कोई व्हीलचेयर में है तो उसको उठा के he had to cross that staircase वाला barrier, and then he used to be moving around the station. So we proposed to build a ramp ताकि उनको वो harassment ना हो कि उनको उठा के लेके जाए, and it becomes easier for them to have access to that station. So we proposed that we build that, and then we went to municipal corporation कि देखो हमने ये किया, इसका benefit ये हुआ है, it became accessible by all the people, and because we have some segment in the society जिनको इनकी दरकार है, तो we would request you to please have this in your policy कि जो भी नई बिल्डिंग आए सिलीगुड़ी में फ्यूचर में, उसमें at least there is a provision कि जो बिल्डर बना रहा है he keeps a dedicated space for a ramp to have the building accessible by all the specially able people of the society.
I remember very fondly, it was one Masoom session which we did online, which we recorded and we had posted it on Facebook and Instagram, and it was an instant hit. We had some around 10,000 people watching it. The views went up, and people started calling me across the country on how you have managed it, how you have done it. And that is how a learning trail started for us, and we continued, and trust me, there was no looking back. We ended up with more than 100 events that year. We had this musical fest, a musical competition called Rhapsody, which we conducted online. We had more than students from more than 20 cities participating in that event, and there was this girl from Mizoram who stood as the winner. You know, not only did we connect people, it was also the students who enjoyed it, you know, connecting, collaborating online, using these online tools which we were absolutely not aware of.
The first trek of YI Siliguri was Sandagapu trek. 4-5 days trek, 25-30 members were in there. And it was first time I was having an experience of a trek and going for a trek and living in the nature. And after the trek I realized that this is something I really enjoyed with my soul. One of the trek में हमने चटकपुर गए थे. Almost 30 to 35 people. पहाड़ पे घर ऐसे भी छोटे छोटे होते हैं. 70-80 स्क्वायर फीट के घर पे आफ्टर सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम 30 लोग उसमें 28-30 लोग उसमें अकोमोडेट हुए और बाकी विंडो से मुंडी अंदर और बाकी बाहर उसी माहौल में वो एंजॉय कर रहे थे. एंड आपको वॉशरूम ब्रेक में भी आप नहीं जा सकते. आपको जहाँ है वहीं बैठे रहना है और आप अपने आप ही बैठे रहेंगे क्योंकि आपको और उसके ज़्यादा स्पेस नहीं है.
One of the marquee events during my tenure was Dil Se. So the budget was approximately 20-25 lakhs, and the whole chapter budget at that point of time used to be around 10 lakhs. So the challenge was, with that 10 lakhs, you have to sustain the entire year, including all activities that you are doing. So there was a big mismatch in terms of availability and in terms of outlay. So the challenge was really to raise sponsorships. So I think the team that we had for that event, Dil Se, did a fantastic job, and I think that was the time when all members also got that kind of a confidence that if YI goes to the market, the kind of activities that they have been doing with the background they have, it will not be a Herculean task to raise sponsorships. If I had to sum up YI, I would say it's friends for life.
By far the best time of my life. I made good friends across the nation and the chapter as well. So I think that 365 days of my life was the best part of my life till date.
Often when I meet my friends, they tell me that I would spend half of my life being in YI and the next half of it talking about YI, because there are so many stories that I keep on talking about.
Had it not been for YI or YI Siliguri, being to institutions like ISB, IIM, INSEAD, Oxford, Labasna, it was not possible. So these are the opportunities which YI Young Indians provide to the members. Once you are a young Indian, you are a young Indian forever.
It's a fond journey, and 10 years it does not look like 10 years. When you enjoy the things, the time looks really short, and it's a dream kind of journey.
Anyone watching and listening to me right now, I would say that if you're below 40, this is probably the best place to be. I mean, YI gives you something which no other organization can do.
To all the entrepreneurs or young business leaders out there, if you are looking for an organization that will give you unmatched flavor of everything that you wish to do in your life, YI is the organization, and this is where you have to be.
I remember this chapter was the 29th chapter in Young Indians. Today, Young Indians is 65 chapters. I am proud that Young Indians Siliguri is amongst the top performing chapters in the country. And the testimony is that this chapter is churning out a lot of leaders nationally. In fact, we have had a national chairman from Siliguri, and we have got a strong pipeline of leaders waiting to impact.
One proud moment which you feel when you are the chair of YI and the national chairman of YI is when you are representing your country in the G20 Young Entrepreneurs Alliance. That time you are represented as the president of the country, of that organization, and you get to sign your name against India written out there. And I think that is one of the most proud moment in your life, which not many people get, and YI is one organization that has given me that opportunity. I always say YI Siliguri is like my baby, and when you see your own babies grow, you know how the feeling is. I am a father of 2 now, so I really do understand, and that sense is still there towards YI. Each and every leader, the way they have grown, the way they have held the fort for YI Siliguri, I would say fantastic. If you ask me my journey in YI, how do you feel? I would say fulfillment is the word. So when you're leading a chapter or a region or an entire nation, There are challenges, there are a lot of hardships, but in the end, no, when you look back, you only remember the fond memories. To identify the existence of darkness is not enough. Let's be the bearer of light. So that's my message to all young Indians out there.